Okay, so this is my super quick video for those of you that feel like you are ready to move ahead and write your introductions right away. You love your thesis, you think it's awesome, you think you're good to go. Two things you need to do. Reread your original question. Please do this. Then, check that you actually answer the question. Because even as many times as I've written a paper, my first video, I addressed the topic at hand, but didn't actually answer the question. And I had to go back and remake it. Okay? So this is really important. Reread, answer the question. And I have an example here for you. So, one of your peers was focused on this question. Characterize the relationship between Macbeth and Lady Macbeth. That's what we need to characterize. If the main theme of Macbeth is related to ambition, whose ambition is the driving force of the play? Macbeth's, Lady Macbeth's, or both? So, whose ambition? And what are the consequences of this ambition? Consequences of this. So we kind of have, let's see, two questions and a statement, which is actually what happened in my last video too. So we have a couple things to focus on. So this relationship here, ambition, consequences. So this is what one of your peers do. In Macbeth, Shakespeare uses characterization, irony, and metaphor to show that the relationship between Lady Macbeth and Macbeth is controlled by Lady Macbeth. So this is good. We've got our characterization, right? We're going to have a whole paragraph dedicated to that. That's great. We're looking at the relationship, right? And, I mean, these kind of go together, but whatever. That's cool. And then we're looking at who's in control. So that's a great start. But we need to take it a step further here, because it's not just who's in control, but whose ambition is driving this play, who's driving the action, right? So, okay, there's control, but, and I don't mean to ask this in a mean way, but who cares? Who cares? What else is happening? And then what are the consequences of this ambition? That's really this main question. Like, what, that's what we're getting at when we say who cares. So, we need to just revise this a little bit. It's got a good start, but it doesn't actually answer the question. It doesn't tell us who, or what the consequences are, right? So, this is how we're going to go about fixing this up. So in Macbeth, Shakespeare uses characterization, irony, and metaphor to show blah, 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 blah. So, characterization, irony, metaphor are showing that Lady Macbeth is running the show. Characterization works well because we can focus on who the characters are as people. Irony, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of ironic events. And metaphors to compare things. You know, consequences, I think irony is good for that. Metaphors, I still have to think about that one a little bit. So, we looked at our three things that we're using to prove this point. That works. Or those three work. Now we're focusing on what we're showing. So, to show, this works. That's good. Well, not a gold star, but a green star. But this, what does it show? This needs to just be revamped and changed. So what I'm gonna do is copy this onto a new page for you. Oops. Oh shoot. Yikes. There we go. And we're going to just delete this. So remember, we need to actually answer the question. What are the consequences of this ambition? So in Macbeth, Shakespeare uses characterization, irony, and metaphor to show... show what? To show, something about Lady Macbeth being in control, because that was the original point. Show how Lady Macbeth's control. So we're still focusing on her control, right? But what does it do? What are the consequences? How Lady Macbeth's control I want to say even Lady Macbeth's ambition and desire to control her husband. Let's see, one of the other students used in a different one, like used the word ultimately, and I liked that. Ultimately destroys everything they have. Alright, so I am just quickly adding a bigger point to this whole thing. So we kept all these dudes the same, and we just focused on fixing up this argument, okay? And this is what a lot of people struggle with. So really make sure this is something. So we took a question, we talked about whose ambition is the driving force, right? Whose ambition? Lady Macbeth's ambition. And what are the consequences of her ambition? We answered that. It ultimately destroys everything they have. So make sure, before you move on to the next video, that your thesis statement actually answers the question.